Have you been downstairs to the ground floor?
Yes. Yes. Not today, but
You have. You've seen the array of jams and marmalades. So we've been going for 40 years. Mum started the business 40 years ago, and we've been supplying Fortnum. Stop me at any point if I get this. How you don't wish it to be. Supplying Fortnums 40 years ago. We do 29 different products. There are 3 jam suppliers. We do 29 of them, and some of them we've got here. We do all the rose pepper products. We live on a farm at home, and we have 500 rose bushes. But I'll come into the process of how that's made. And we're also doing their magnificent plum preserve, which is their Christmas preserve for this year, which is doubled up with their winter sparkling tea. So if you haven't tried it already, we'll hand some round so you can have sparkling tea. Try some the sparkling tea and the preserve together, which is the focus is plum, basically. Where would you like me to start? On the roses? Come on, you do the beginning. You do the beginning.
Their winter sparkling tea, and we were asked to make them Christmas jam, and they wanted a base of plums. So I was a bit worried about the colour; they can go a bit sort of khaki when you cook them. So they have samples of that here, and also of the winter sparkling tea.
So they'll come to Mum about 18 months before the Christmas they're looking for. And this year, they said, well last year they said, so we'd like a plum and we'd like to use this alcohol. Your face dropped when plum's going round. How is that going to work?
Red always sells. It's extraordinary.
And so we tasted, we'll hand round some of the sparkling tea. Thank you. They wanted to pick out the flavour profiles from the tea, so there was chai in there, there's silver needle, and Mum has the most incredible palette, and you pick them out almost straight away. So we went to the supplier of the teas for the winter sparkling tea, which if that comes around a minute you can taste the 2 together, and made her samples in the kitchen in 1 saucepan at home using the exact tea that went into the alcohol, and then managed to bring forward the right sort of flavours. I don't think you had to do it too many times. Or did you twice? Palettes, so it was, you brought forward what they wanted, and we think it's worked really well. I actually put it into making mince pies last weekend. The greatest of orange on top, delicious, bit of a change, but that worked well. So, but it can be used, I think you said in your notes, it can be used in...
It can be melted, poured over ice cream or yogurt. You can use it as a glaze over gammon.
Yeah,
Great accompaniment with bacon and sausages, or for breakfast. And I just said I leave it.
So we don't cook the alcohol off, so it's you should be able to taste the jam flavours coming through from the
sparkling tea is also what is in the plum one.
Do you get it? It's quite, I think it's quite low alcohol in the tea, so it's not so really
It's
strong.
about 4. I think there are about 4 spices in chai. Well, there are lots of different chais on there. And the bottle packaging, it says hazelnuts on strong and apple strudel or apple pie. And then we've got silver needle tea. I didn't really think that tasted of anything else. Very expensive.
What do you think having the 2 together? It's interesting. It is interesting. You can sort of well, it is. When you've got a plum and a bottle of alcohol, you think, they're there.
Goes quite well. I brew my own kombucha.
Well
quite
done.
well with kombucha. Yeah, because it self-carbonates,
Yes, it
so
does,
you get it naturally carbonated. When you add your different foods, what you want to be the flavour. So I've tried different things over the last 2 years. I've been making my own
well
kombucha.
done.
Yeah, and it's really good for the gut as well. But it has got a small alcohol level there.
Very small though, isn't it? Yeah.
What alcohol
The
percentage?
winter sparkling tea.
I think it's
but
five.
They do the winter sparkling tea. And
Yeah, I
they
think it's five.
do an all year round tea, which is also very good.
Yeah.
Which we will be doing stuff with next year.
With you though, you're always doing something new. It sounds like you're always producing something new.
All the time.
Yes.
It's fun. It usually is, yes. We have our own label, which you can see up there at the factory, and it does show. I can't see it.
The moment it
and it doesn't say it. So I was like, oh. So I did when I read that, I was like, well, where we use it to drink it.
Oh, interesting. So a little bit confusing then.
When you've got a moment, if you can just explain which is which.
Yep.
Thank you.
It does say.
And it doesn't say that. And so this is one.
This one here, this is the Magnificent
Because I
Plum.
buy
Okay.
it
Here.
here.
That one was the one that was paired with the wine?
Yes, so this one, this is a mixture of the sparkling
And I'm always
tea.
just-
I do
Mhm.
fortnum, so this is a mixture of plum and sparkling tea.
I probably
Together,
wouldn't
so
have,
they go well
because you
together.
just put blow.
Yes, indeed, they did.
This one is the
Rose
rose
petal?
petal jelly, yes. So this one's
don't know
just
whether
rose
it's
petals
confusing.
and then all the other elements and components that go into it there.
Lovely.
Here, this is also the rose petal one like this one, however this one has Prosecco in it as
Oh
well.
yes, the
Add a bit of
Prosecco.
alcohol in that one
My
as well.
favourite.
And then over here, this is the blood orange and marmalade one.
Okay.
And you can see you have like little pieces of orange in there as well, just to give it a bit more flavour.
Did you try the blood orange?
Not yet, so
Not
I'm
yet.
going to try
Okay.
that.
I'll wait for everyone else. Lovely. Okay, this is brilliant. Thank you so much for taking the time out to explain. We appreciate it.
Reserve and marmalade is done by number.
Yeah, I knew it could be
Breakfast reserve with
Oh, well, no good to know. But this I did notice too, because I was wondering why nuts or something had 19
which you can't say it's marmalade. List of agreement.
But you wouldn't know it's no.
but I think having sparkling tea with
First, sparkling
Would make it.
because I don't
onto
I
the
don't really
shelves
like
everywhere, with glitter in it.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
then
it's
the
dots on that
trading
island
stand
downstairs with the sparkling tea
decided
and the plum
you
next to
couldn't
it.
just add glitter. You couldn't call it strawberry, glittering strawberry jam.
And equally, Neil is downstairs. I don't know if you know Neil does tastings. He's got that. It's amazing. He's been here for years doing the tastings. He will come and do some tastings for us, and he will stock up with that.
It's because children might have it when they go to school.
Be happy.
Very happy children from whiskey marmalade. French. You have beautiful jams over there. With less scent to it, slightly.
Okay.
Marmalade and orange.
Blood orange and marmalade. Okay. This is the blood orange and marmalade. We've had the Prosecco. We've had the rose petal. And we've had the tea. Tea with plum. Yes, we've had the tea with the plum.
And quince jelly.
I just interrupted you.
A granddaughter.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
There are lots of us.
Yes.
And I thought there's my friends here as well, so we can say hello. Zoe and Dave.
Hello.
Don't you dare. Oh, girl. Here, all these. Your jacket is amazing. You look gorgeous. So fascinated at work. They have the most amazing coffee shop opposite the office, and it's the best. What are we tasting today?
And of the various ones and the
Stuff that we have on Saturday. Winter sparkling tea. And I thought I'll see what these other things
Mine is the Prosecco and the plum. Definitely the Prosecco. Yes, this one, the plum. And the second to last, which is the Prosecco.
I love the marmalade. Those two.
I think these two makes me happy in the mornings. I can just
How much you can eat as well.
I can
This
eat.
one I feel you cannot eat as much as the other one.
Yeah, straight.
It's rich,
You
isn't
just
it?
have a little bit, and then the Prosecco one or the orange one, you can have more.
It's
you can have
Moorish.
two slices, it's toast every day.
It's Moorish.
That's like a treat.
Yeah,
That's a treat, and you have half a toast of it because otherwise it's too much of something.
yeah, that's true.
But it's pink.
It is. It's colourful. Wow. To think every one of it is handmade. Wow.
Do you work for Fortnum or are you like freelance?
No, well, not free. I just promote UK hospitality and lifestyle.
You should start manufacturing food, which is rather a large project. And I thought for about 6 weeks, and I asked my husband, who was just about to retire, what he intended to do in his retirement, and he said hang over a 5-bar gate with his cattle. So I thought I'd better get going, which I did, and after 6 weeks he said, have you got a job for me? Because he could see I was getting a bit of a muddle with the bookwork. And he enjoyed it enormously. The marketing, I think, is the most difficult part of any job, especially if it's your own. You can't go around blowing your own trumpet. And you think, oh, now where do I start? And so I thought Fortnum's was quite the obvious one to start, because I used to work here 60 years ago. And nothing's really changed except it's better. But it was wonderful then. And buyers have changed and come and gone over the years. Each one brings, they want to make their own stamp on their grocery department. And you just have to jump to it and change with them. More products, lose a few, make many more. One Christmas product will last probably 3 years if you're lucky, and you have to start again. And it's lovely, and all the buyers are different and very nice, but then you have to, when you create a product, you have to think, what is its use going to be? Not just on toast, it's not just jam. Where's the alternate use for it? And it's amazing the ones you can think up. And I think it was Americans who put marmalade with sausages. And that really lets you rip then. You can think, yep, that strawberry jam would be great with roast lamb or something.
But it was the same with the Magnificent.
The magnificent plum. I think, melted onto yogurt or ice cream, or used as a meat glaze over the back of a gammon. The rose petal chutney would be gorgeous as a glaze over roast chicken. And then a spoonful into the gravy.
It's delicious with salmon as well, or on steamed vegetables. I actually had it with an omelette this morning. Don't look at me like so sure. I had it with an egg white and spinach omelette, and I had rose petal chutney. It was delicious.
Have you tried the plum with duck?
With duck.
Yeah. The plum.
Magnificent plum would be
Yeah,
delicious with duck,
with
actually.
duck.
I'm pretty good at this.
Have we done a tasting of them?
Has everyone tried the plum?
Yes.
Has everyone had the winter tea?
Yes.
Have you tried the
Would
rose?
anyone like any more?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, which one?
Especially when you've just made me
Okay.
really hungry and haven't
We
even
had
had lunch yet.
We do the tea and the, yes, the plum and the tea, please. Thank you.
And what have the rose petal and blood orange around?
Let me hand around one of these as well. Would you like to try rose petal and blood orange as well? So think of your stuff.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, it's so good.
Would you like
I'm
some?
good, thank you.
Tell me you don't do sugar, do you?
No, I'm just trying to get off the sugar, but I'm good, thank you.
Rose petal and marmalade for the other hand?
This is my favourite.
This one. Have you tried this one?
Irresistible.
You've got to have one.
It's
one
just
to
more.
chase
It's
and one
just
to-
Moorish. You have no self-control.
So yes, if you change your thought process, I suppose, to rather than having it on porridge or with yogurt, and you think, as you say, the rose petal and marmalade with, well, you could do that with gammon. That would be lovely cold when it settled in. With any meat really, or rolled into hot sausages. It's delicious. Or for breakfast.
It's getting excited now. The love for food in this family is strong.
How did you convince Fortnum Mason then in the beginning? Because
Well,
you came from
actually-
nowhere, I'm guessing.
Well, actually,
As in,
Oh, here we go.
or did you know some dark stories?
actually, before, well, when I knew I had to go and sell something, I thought, I'll go to Harrods. And I waited 6 weeks for an appointment with the buyer, who was very nice. And he said, I'll take everything. Go and get it properly packaged, I'll take the lot. And you used to go there and check your own stock in the warehouse and go to the buyer for the order. And he said, have you been to Fortnum's? And I said, no, I wouldn't like to. And he said, stand there, I'll make an appointment for you. Which he did. So a week later, I was standing in Fortnum's, and they said, take everything, which was just lovely. And I used to work here 60 years ago, which was just magical, never thinking I'd ever be back again. So it's almost a full circle.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And the family are there's nothing like a family-run firm. Watched it from the chairman now, Kate Hawkhouse. I remember her grandfather was over yesterday. It's extraordinary. It's just magical.
And you started basically in the kitchen table.
She still is at the kitchen table. So we live at home together. And no, it's not funny. Mum's kitchen table is taken. How would you describe Mum's kitchen, Laurie?
It is
Lived
a
in.
magical place with lots of ideas. Is how I describe
You're
it.
creative, would you?
What I
Yeah.
can say is that never trust a firm with glossy offices.
No, there's no glossy office.
All time love one space.
So Mum's draining board is full of jam jars. It's full of samples of sugar. It's full of just every creative idea. But it really does start. So when Fortnum came and said, right, we're making plum and we'd like this winter sparkling tea, Mum was like, where on earth do I start? So out comes the same saucepan. Out comes the same Tupperware thing of sugar. She's like, right, I'm going to get going. And it really is on a small saucepan at home. Even now, even for the rosehip products, which we hope come out next year, a couple of weeks ago, was on the same saucepan. And it's, Mum works through the night. She's a night owl, and she'll finish at 3 or 4 in the morning.
It's all good girls.
Yes. And the draining board will be lined up with 8 jars. And she said, right, I've done the samples, I'm exhausted, I've done the samples, take some for your children to try, take some to the factory, and then everyone tries it, and then leave it to you to give to here to see what they think. And then so rarely does Mum have to do it a third time. So it's normally first time, a little bit less sugar, or can you bring a different flavour profile through? So we had to bring through the chai with the sparkling tea and the silver needle a bit more. So we contacted the people that supply the tea for the winter sparkling. They sent us samples and we were stewing the teas and trying to get the right balance, and they said, perfect, it's done, that's it, that's all we need. You have such an incredible palate, you're very lucky, you don't need to keep doing and doing, and it just works. So it really is on the hob at home. Yeah.
Well, you were very small, so you had to have a job and stay at home. So, and I'm still there. And now your children come.
I want help. So
The
come on, Granny, you
youngest
need a bit more
daughter
this or a bit more that.
comes and says, Granny, what are you making? What are we making? What are we making? And brings a small step ladder by the stove, and then tells me what herbs to use and spices.
Amazing.
And she's never wrong. It's really shocking.
Well, it shows that the family business will just keep going then.
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So does anyone have any other questions?
I notice you've got a whiskey and
Orange marmalade.
yeah, you've
Just,
and did I see a gin?
yes, we do a gin.
So look, I didn't come for the alcohol. I'm just inquiring on behalf of everybody.
I'm sensing a theme here.
I'm everyone's representative.
We had a range of marmalades for the 40s. We started off with navy marmalade for Trafalgar, and that has Pass's rum in it. Then we added the RAF marmalade, gin, lime, and what's the angostura bitters?
Bitters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the army one is orange gin, orange whiskey and ginger.
But they're
Oh,
not called RAF.
But
They're called Orange Lime with Gin now, or we're all downstairs.
previous management took away the navy. No, well, they've left the navy, but they've taken away the other 2 forces' names, which I find rather sad
yes, it is. It is.
because they deserve it.
Yes.
And again, the alcohol is at the bottom of the jar. Hot filled on top, so it comes up, soaks back in. So they are. There you are. It's not
Downstairs.
the downstairs.
On the first
Do you want me
floor.
to write them down for you? So you
They're not from school run.
Thank God. Mine's
the
are all
children.
adult children now. So I'm safe.
Can you tell us more about the honey?
honey bunny.
Comes from bees.
Every day's a learning day.
Well, when you're picking roses and you put your hand over a bloom and you turn it up like that and think, oh, that was a lovely one, and your hand vibrates, you know there's a bee in it as well, so sadly you just drop it. But the bees are lovely and they are in amongst the roses all the
There's a
time.
picture of them that keeps coming up on here. So we have 6 or 7 hives. No, you're okay. Which are looked after by a local beekeeper, and he's so gentle with the bees. He'll only harvest them once a year, normally August, and then he leaves them the rest of the time, and he will only feed them back their own home through the winter. So he won't do sugar syrup or any of that. I mean, you only get a small harvest, but because they're amongst the roses, they do forage on the roses, but they also go about 4 to 5 miles down the road into Henley. And by tasting the honey, he can tell us what they're fed on that season. So it's generally wild plum, there's hawthorn, there's beech, there's rose, and there's something else I can't remember. I know I put it on the website, but it's a very delicate honey, but it's really, really special. And they do say you should have whatever honey is closest to you for the most health benefits. It's delicious. I need to ask you, we've got the orange lime and gin. What was the other one? With the whiskey, orange whiskey and
Ginger.
Ginger.
It's not called that on the label though, is it?
No, it was the almond.
I know, but what's it now?
Whiskey almond.
Whiskey marmalade.
And hopefully next year we'll be doing rosehip products. A rosehip jam and a rosehip relish.
Thank you very much.
So I've handed in the samples to the buyer, so I wait to hear. But when you poach the rose hips, they taste and smell exactly like stewed apple. It's quite, because a rose tree or bush is the nearest plant to an apple tree, apparently in nature. And I was surprised. It's not a perfect colour, so it needs perhaps a strawberry or a raspberry with it. But they're going to be really delicious.
They're delicious products. So with the rosehip relish that Mum made, she said 6 samples downstairs on the kitchen, take one next door, see what you all think. Over the weekend, the whole lot had gone. It was beautiful. And it has a slightly, I'm not going to say furry texture, that's wrong. It's, you know, if you've ever had a jam or a marmalade that's a bit fluffy, I suppose. It's not quite there. You just know that you're eating goodness, if that makes sense. You can really sense the lovely rose hips in there. So hopefully they'll pass it. That will be lovely. You can visualise us picking the rose hips with our scissors, holding a bowl, sniffing around all the bushes. So.
Right?
Any questions?
I have a question. How have you keep the bigger investors in a way of want to manufacture your product? How do you keep away from going into the big manufacturing companies?
How we can
Well, a long time ago, we supplied Windsor Farm Shop, and we were very honoured to be there, and it was lovely. The Queen and Prince Philip thought that they had been told that absolutely everything was made by hand, and the manager who was building the whole thing before opening was sent to visit us to go to the factory to prove that we were telling the truth. And he came back again one day with the deputy keeper of the privy purse for lunch, who was very nice. But my husband asked him, if you had a small firm like this, what would you do with it? And he said, I wouldn't do anything. I would keep it exactly as it is. I would not grow large. I would put a ceiling on what you want your turnover to be and not rise above it, because you will lose what you've got. You lose the taste, you lose trust, you'll just be in supermarkets, you just don't do it. Just be content with what you're doing. And so far we have. And that's 40 years of it. So we'll never be rich, but we'll always be happy.
We are very labour intensive. There are 7 of us, and that's it. We do everything by hand. From sterilising the jars, the labelling, the filling, the prepping of the fruit, the ordering, I'm on emails. My husband's at the factory. He used to be in the army with horses all his life, and now he's making jam. He hasn't quite worked out what's going on, but he makes sure it's all going out, and that's, you know, next week we're going to be pruning the roses, we're manuring, checking emails before we stop for lunch, and then back out to the manure, and then checking emails, and going on the school run. So it is really doing everything that way, and then taking it in turns at the factory and checking
And
how
so
mum
it's
samples are doing
moving
in the
on
kitchen.
down the line. So there you are, and hopefully the one from up the step ladder who also wants to be a vet and a drummer. But you never know. Could combine it. She probably will. So
Just keep it small, I think, is
you know,
really
sometimes if
manageable.
a very big offer comes in, you do just one day. We were with one supermarket for 12 years. It's okay. What didn't feel right. But here it's wonderful. There's nothing like a family firm. You know you can trust them. Everything's done on a handshake, and it's nothing so old-fashioned. Really good.
It makes you appreciate more when you know it's a bit like farm to table. You kind of know the whole process, and with it being a family affair, you can just taste the love and everyone's effort
Well,
that's
it
gone
does.
into it.
Interesting, I was talking to a couple of women about half an hour ago, and they said, we had no idea. We thought jam's jam, it's jam.
Yeah.
You go to Sainsbury's, you buy jam, you come here, you buy jam. They're like, we didn't know that there's only a few of you making it by hand and doing it. And they said, now we're going to go down and buy some jam, and the roses, you pick these by hand. I said, well, yes, just the three of us, and that's how it's done. So maybe pushing that story out there, because people love story with the products, and now you know, when you see they advertise the rose products when they come back into season, you go, oh, we met Sue and Joanna, and, you know, we know Joanna's out there picking the roses, and Mum's in the kitchen with a saucepan, and you know that that's going to be,
She's in a bikini.
and Florrie's coming down and trying it, yeah. And I think it helps because so many of their suppliers are the same, and they do the same thing. You wouldn't know necessarily that happens. So I think this event space and then inviting their suppliers to come and talk is hugely important. And it's, again, it's lovely. You can almost relate more now to your.
In a way, I suppose I'd say it's a bit like going to a dressmaker rather than buying off the peg.
Yes, exactly.
And you know it's perhaps been made, I don't know, somewhere, heaven knows where.
Well, I like the fact that you can't just get it in all the supermarkets, because it just becomes, people lose the appreciation and it becomes so common, like mass production, and you do lose some of the flavours when they're producing factory size on a large scale. So yeah, so I mean, I feel special when I come down to here to purchase one, and we're enjoying it over the festive season. It's just got that little bit of luxury going down.
Yeah, it's luxury and you can taste the
Yeah, and high-end quality ingredients have gone into it, not just
and seasoning as well.
yeah.
And love, and knowing that everyone in the factory has tried it before it's potted. Everyone has to agree. They're happy with the colour, they're happy with the texture. Are we all good to go? Is everyone, yes, we're all happy, it meets what it should be. It meets Mum's sample, flavour profile, let's go.
And they
we
have
will
to
not pot
approve
it.
the samples as well.
Yeah.
No, you haven't got it quite right this time or something.
We have been known to win a batch or two. Oh, that's gone wrong. Oh, that's gone wrong. But if we don't all agree, then we don't. We ring Mum.
But you don't like that though.
I don't know.
That's not a good day.
Well, I stay in my muddly kitchen, you see. They're all 15 miles away. I go when there's a new product going in the boilers, and I sit there until it's done. It might take 2 days before it's just right.
We are actually launching a new one, which they told us yesterday. We had a Zoom call. Yes, the winter sparkling.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the winter sparkling jelly, which goes in their Savour range, which we'd almost forgotten about. Yesterday they said, we love it, we want to launch it soon. So which again is a lovely, so Mum will take a sample from somewhere on the draining board that's labelled, and take it to the factory and sit there with our two chefs until they've got it right. And then I'll take the recipe home, type it up, and then with that, that's just how it works. And we're not very technical. It either tastes right or it doesn't taste right, and it meets the right sugar levels and specs it's meant to meet.
I know.
And that's it.
But never mind, I can't send an email, so that's fine.
Emails are overrated.
I think so. Nothing like a good fountain pen and a bit of paper, but never mind.
So do you distribute abroad by any chance to some of these?
Buy here, yes.
Yes, like
yes,
to buy.
By here, yes, but not under our own label.
Okay.
We've gone to Ireland once. So although we've been going for 40 years, we've only had a website for 2 years. But we still use a fax machine. I mean, we don't still want to brush it a bit. So the website's still very exciting.
No, yes.
We fax each other. There's no one else to fax.
Before the fax, it was telex.
We've moved on. And so on our website we do and we can, but we've only had a request from Ireland so far, so we're not. But interestingly, speaking to people today, there's quite a few people from Greece who said, oh, actually, if we don't go through here and we wanted to look at your products, would we like to say yes?
There's no reason why we shouldn't. We did years ago, but there were two parts to the story really, in that we did export all over the place. And then when the EU law was launched, there was a huge change to the back labels with all the information on it. And my husband said, I am not printing any more labels. That's it. So that was the end of us.
Just the expense of printing labels is huge.
Different words.
Different words, different nutritional values on the back, so
All about the sugar and the salt and that sort of thing.
we had to add certain things.
I'm just not printing it. No, that's it. No, our label's gone. So then sadly, 2.5 years ago, he died. And right, let's start again. So it's like being at the beginning again.
So my husband and I, once a month, will go to a farmer's market somewhere called Dedington, which is near Blenheim Palace. It's the most incredible food market. They've won so many awards, but everyone has to be within a 30-mile radius. And they found us and said, oh, would you? We have to go through a whole panel. Anyway, so we go there once a month, and we have a lovely following of people, and thousands of people come to this market. It's only on for 4 hours, and the word is spreading, and that seems to be the best way for us, is to actually go out to food markets and say we're here. And some people, we've got Instagram as well, not that Florrie helps, well, a bit with that. And some people follow us. I think we've got 6 followers, which is very exciting. But they will find us and they'll say, oh, you're here, that's fantastic, which is a lovely treat, rather than going, oh, there's their jam, like, oh my goodness, you're here, or you're in Scotland, or we found you. So we're very lucky.
And Tame Food Fair was good.
If you're interested in food fairs, Tame Food Fair, once a year, is incredible. Incredible food fair. So we've really tried to source the best food fairs that we can within an easy reach for the day to set up. And we're very lucky where we are in Oxfordshire. There's some incredible food suppliers and producers. So yeah, we'll always keep it advertised on Instagram.
So onward and upward. Or spread outward, I don't know which.
You've got 126 followers.
I knew there was a 6 in there. 126 followers.
Well, you were 125, you're now 100.
Oh, so they're doing them for Easter, for birthdays, for everything. I'm thinking an advent calendar of jams and marmalades.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be lovely.
I'd buy it.
So would I.
Mum, did you hear that?
You've already got an order.
Can you do the labels?
Yeah.
I'll pre-order.
Can I have a hands up if you buy an advent calendar of
Oh
jams?
yes, oh
Mum?
yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right, watch this space.
Surprise!
Sorry, I didn't help it. It's okay. Okay, right.
Yeah, I would.
I'll do that. Advent calendar. Okay.
Yeah, that would go
I've loved it. The idea was born here.
Not Calendar Girls one.
No. I'm not going
No,
to
that's the other one.
So
That's the
That's
other
the
one.
other
Not with
one.
the earring.
That's on the other one.
Pruning roses. You're not allowed to diss that idea now, Mum, okay?
I wouldn't dare.
So this is how we have our meetings. No, yes, no.
I was just wondering, how is the relationship? How is the business side of the relationship with the family?
With us all living together.
Yes, in a way of, did you have a calendar where you say at 9 o'clock after breakfast? How is the dynamic?
Well, I'm one end of the house, then there's a glass link, and then there's the other
So we
end of the
converted the
house.
stables. When I had children and got married, we came out of London, and the plan was always to come home. So we converted the stables, joined it on with the link to the main farmhouse, which Mum's in. So I'm still in there, not with my husband, but with my children and another husband. And Mum's just giving a full story for the jam
You have
business
to
now.
have a bit of variety. Spice to life.
Very liberal. Same children.
Or is it the jam's good for you?
Anyway, so Mum's all right.
She's good.
Thank you very much. Right. So, he'll be on there in a minute.
Who?
James. So, Mum works all the time. She doesn't stop in her head. It's business, business, business through the night, sleepless nights. I'm up and start at 5 in the morning, like many of us do, but I have a switch off. And so I'll go and check that Mum's all right. You're right for saying this. I'll go and check that Mum's all right before we shut down for the night, and that you're not still working, and you'll say, right, now, I just need to discuss this, and I glaze. I'm like, Mum, I can't. I'll come and see you in the morning. And then I'll go and check on her with her coffee at 7 in the morning. Now, this thought that I was, Mum! So, but it actually works really well. Mum keeps going, and you understand that I do have a glazed, but... No, not at all. Your mind is incredible. But then we'll often have a quick work meeting or catch up or chat before the school run. You're upstairs still, and we'll come over and you'll say, right, this needs to happen or that needs to happen, and it works really well. I've never known any different. I've grown up with it. I've grown up with the business and Mum and Dad doing it. I did my 20 years in London, different job, came home. So it's as though I've come back to something I've always known. And the working relationship between my husband now, it all just seems to flow really well. We have enough space, as in you've got your side, we've got our side. We have our weekly meetings. We have it at, say, 1:30 on a Monday, and that gives us enough time to go to the factory, and we're just really lucky, I think. Tension, if there is ever any tension, it's sorted out then and there. You can't not sort it out, really, can you? And it's, we share the phone, so the business phone is also the home phone, so whoever gets to it first, invariably it's Mum. Would you agree with that? Are you sure? You're not looking like it.
It's absolutely fine.
I think you would rather I spoke about business
Fine
with
is
you.
a huge word.
I think you'd rather I spoke about business with you at 10, 11 at night when you're still going.
I'd be very happy then. But never mind.
No, are you a night owl as well?
Late morning, late night.
I didn't get that.
It's all about body clock.
So, Mum, is it fair to say sometimes your creative juices start flowing at night? Because some people are creative nocturnally. When the world goes silent, that's when they're like, Eureka, this is what we're doing. And at times it can be like, oh, she said wait till morning, and I have to hold on to that idea.
It's particularly peaceful at night. It's so quiet, and you know the phone isn't going to ring at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or if you do, there's a drunk on the end or something. That does happen. I tried that.
Yeah, I know
No, it
you
didn't work. It's your own time,
Yeah.
But you were so
and
creative.
it's peaceful. And also, you'd have no life at all if you filled in every day. Really. So it's all about the time you're born.
So I
And it's
suppose
all fun. That's the main thing, it's fun. And we meet the most lovely people. And it would be horrible to be part of a huge conglomeration, you know, one of these huge people that come along. They couldn't care less about your jam or anything. They just want to make money.
Yes.
And it's not what it's all about.
Yes.
It's about getting it right and enjoying it. And keeping going.
very well.
Thanks, Corinne. Lovely granddaughter.